Hey, this is Camp Counselor Nicole with a throwback Camp Quest activity from our visual arts year where we dyed wool yarn using Kool-Aid. So let's talk about the materials you need to do this activity. You'll need some Kool-Aid. You can see what color your dye will become by the color that's in the cup on here. So this will be blue. We're going to dye some pink yarn, and so it'll end up being a purple color. At camp that year we used white yarn, so you can use white or you can use any color. Just recognize that it'll combine with whatever color you've got going on in your Kool-Aid. We do not need to use a mordant, which is usually used in dyeing processes, because this has acid in it already in the form of citric acid. So the first thing you're going to do, open up your baggie. I suggest using a gallon size. The amount of water you need doesn't really matter, as long as it covers up your yarn. So as long as your yarn can float in there and get covered completely by the amount of water in there. And then you're going to take your dye packets and you're going to open them up. If you use one dye packet, it will be a lighter color. The more packets you use, the darker the color will become. The temperature of the water doesn't really matter because the sun will heat it up. It's good to start with warm water though, so the sun has less work to do. Swish that around in your baggie. Take a second to smell it. Put in your yarn. Try to get as much of the air out of your baggie as possible. Push the yarn in, and already you'll see it starting to dye it. The other thing that will help your yarn become dyed is heat. And so usually you could do this over the stove, but you can also just do this by laying it in the sun to heat up. And that's it. Check it in a few hours. See if the whiter, the clearer the water becomes, the more dye has soaked into your yarn. Rinse the yarn afterwards with cold water, and it'll be ready to use.